Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. This video is a makeup basket for the month of December 2019, my last makeup basket of the year. These are all the products that I was working with last month. I'm going to go through, tell you which ones I'm holding on to for another month, which ones I'm putting back in my collection, and then we'll go into my collection and pull out new things to play with in December. I want to start with the products that I finished. I have 4 makeup empties for November. The first one is this primer here from Cover FX. It's the custom blot drops. These are okay. I don't think they did a ton for oil control. I didn't even think to use these as something you put on top of your foundation as a touch-up or something you mix in with your foundation. I only used it as a primer and I didn't really love it, and I didn't get a ton of uses out of it either, so I don't think it's worth the money, and I don't think it's something that does a lot for oil control. I have an eyeliner pencil here. This is from Milani. It's the Stay Put Waterproof in Hooked on Espresso. This one is empty. It looks like it has product left, but in the middle, if you can see that little white dot, it's like plastic. So this one is done, and I will work on another Milani eyeliner pencil that I have in my collection. I have this Bare Minerals color corrector in the shade Light 1. This is empty. I'm back to using my NYX Dark Circle Concealer, and I love it. I'm glad to have that one back in my life. This one was okay, but it's not my favorite. And the last one is a concealer from Jouer. It's the Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer in the shade Creme Cafe. And this one I took the stopper out so that I could get everything, and I used a little scraper tool to get everything out of the bottom, so I got as much as I could out of this. I did track the uses of all 3 of these products, and I have the numbers in a how long does it take to use it makeup video that I put up recently, so I'll link that in the description box. And that means I'll be able to bring in a new eyeliner, concealer, color corrector, and primer for this month. Now let's look at the rest of the stuff. I do have a product that is almost empty. If you can see, it's the Urban Decay primer potion. I cut it open. I only have a couple uses left, so I do plan on pulling in a new eye primer this month so that I can start using that once this is gone. Once I finished up the Jouer concealer, I started using this Cover FX one, and I really like it. It's very liquidy, but it still has good coverage. The way I like to use it is I put it on my under eyes, a thin layer, and then I let it sit for a minute so that it can kind of dry a little bit. And whenever I blend it out, I can still make it look nice, but it retains some of the coverage instead of just blending it out when it's still wet. And I'm in the shade G Light 2, by the way. I do have 3 setting sprays that are not on camera because they're too big to keep in my drawer. They are the Too Faced Hangover Primer Spray. This one's actually almost empty. I really like it. I use it with my moisturizer in the morning, and I think it's nice. I have the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I really like this too. I think this is much nicer in the winter months whenever my skin isn't as oily. I'm not as concerned about oil control, but I still want something to make my skin look more healthy and natural. And the Skindinavia Bridal, I still like it. I'm going to keep it out for events and parties and when I want my makeup to last all day. For some other things I'm keeping the RCMA No Color Powder. This one is almost empty. I would like to have it done by the end of the year, but I'm not really sure. I still have quite a bit of the product left. And I keep the powder in this old By Terry container. So I put a little bit in there instead of keeping it in here, just because this product is a little bit harder to work with, so I put it in a separate container to use regularly. I'm going to keep out my Stylist Sea Siren. I don't know if this will be gone by the end of the year. I took the stopper out, put some drops in, some contact solution or whatever, mixed it all around, got all the stuff that was like around the top of the container, pushed it all down, mixed it all up, and there's a ton of product left in there now, so I'm going to keep using it. I have red hair now, so I think purples are going to go really nicely with that, so I'd like to keep that out for this month. I'm also going to be keeping my Dark Circle Corrector from NYX and the waterproof creme color from Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Jet. I use this as a liner pot. I'm also going to be keeping my bronzer. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer. I've been using it a lot and I'd like to hold on to it for another month. I'm also going to hold on to this Jouer foundation. I find that it's a really good shade match for me right now, and I do like the full coverage that it provides, so I'm going to hold on to this. Maybe I can get some more use out of it and hopefully use it up earlier next year. I also want to keep the Maleficent highlighter from ColourPop. This is a cream highlighter. It's got some glitter to it, and I really like using it on my collarbones whenever I have like a dress or a lower cut top on. I just think it adds a really nice something. I don't use this on my face because it is quite glittery, but I think it's nice, especially for the parties and stuff that I'm going to be going to this year. I do have some eyeshadow palettes in here that I'm going to hold on to. The Sultry palette, I have a shade in here for my Panless Eyeshadows quintet, so I'm going to hold on to this one. And for that reason, I'm also going to hold on to the Queen of Hearts palette from Colored Rain. I have 2 eyeshadows here in my quintet. And I am going to hold on to the Zoeva on Taupe palette. Once again, a shade in here is from my quintet for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. The last thing I'm going to be keeping is my Wet n Wild highlighter. The top has come off. I have a ton of pan in here and I would like to use as much of it as I can, but everything else I think is going to go back. So let's talk about that. I have these 4 singles here. 3 of them are from Cliona. I have Prophecy, Morgana, and Rune. Rune and Prophecy I used in tutorials in my 5 tutorials up to Thanksgiving collaboration that I did with Jordana Vargas. And I did use Morgana on my own in a look and I really liked it. I kind of used it as like a liner and it's a really pretty color if you can see. I have it swatched there on my hand. I think it's really pretty. Glass bowl I did not use. I might have used it on my inner corner one time, but I'm going to put it back and maybe pull a couple more singles to play with this month. As for the 2 blushes that I played with this month, I played with my Cover FX Duo in Soft Peach. I use this a lot. I think it's a really pretty blush duo and I enjoyed it, but I'm going to pull out some different blushes to play with this month. For this Wet n Wild blush, this is in the shade Don't Flood Yourself. This is just all glitter. Like you barely even see the pink on my cheeks. It's more just like silver glitter and it is pretty, but it's something I will consider decluttering in the future. I did pull out this Pure Glow Together bronzer and while I did use it once or twice and I still think it's really pretty, I was just using the Too Faced bronzer a lot. I just really like that color right now for my skin, so I'm going to put this back and probably just focus on the Too Faced one this month. I hit goal on the highlighter from this Charlotte Tilbury duo. I wanted to hit pan and I did. I had to use it so much in order to even hit pan and there's still so much product left in there if you can see. I'm going to put this back for now and focus on my Wet n Wild highlighter. I have these 2 blush bombs from Flower Beauty. I used them both quite a bit and I really liked them, but I think I'm going to put them away for now. I'm going to put back my brow pomade from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Like I said, I have red hair now, so I want to pull out a red eyebrow pencil that I have in my collection to use this month, and I'm going to put back the Glaze In Eyegloss from Better London. I did use this once or twice. It's actually getting a little bit dry and I'm not really sure how to get the type of jelly formula that I used to get whenever this was newer. So if anyone has any tips on how to revive the Glaze In Eyeglosses, I would be very grateful because I don't want to get rid of it yet. I just feel like I haven't used it enough. I have these 2 nude pink liquid lipsticks, one from Jordana in the shade Creme Brulee, and this is the Nod Glow liquid lipstick in the shade Sweet Gravity. This one is more peach, this one's more pink. These were really nice for the looks that I was creating this month. I'm going to put these back and focus on some other ones, but I did like the idea of having nudes with different undertones to play with so that I could focus more on eye looks. I'm going to put back my Naked 3 palette from Urban Decay. I did end up hitting pan on Dust. I used this as an inner corner highlight quite a bit when I was trying to hit pan on that pink Prophecy shade from Cliona. I would like to put it away and focus on some other eyeshadows, specifically the eyeshadows from my quintet because it's my last month to do that for this project. And I wanted to point out that I will be doing another Pan Those Eyeshadows project next year. I did make 1 or 2 small adjustments to how I'm going to be doing the project, but the premise is going to be the same. I'm going to be choosing 5 eyeshadows, and as I hit pan on them, I'll bring in new ones. And I will be starting fresh with a new quintet in January, so stay tuned. And lastly, this one here, this is the Hangover Good to Go Skin Protecting Moisturizer. This is a very moisturizing product, so it's kind of something that I would use as a face cream in the morning that just so happens to have some SPF in it. I've been using the Too Faced Hangover Primer quite a bit instead of this. I think once the weather gets really cold and I do want something that's more moisturizing, I'll pull this out. But right now I've just been using the Hangover Primer, the regular one, and I've been liking that well enough, so I'm going to put this one back for this month. So now let's go into my collection and pull out all new products to play with for December. Okay, for eyeshadows, I think I'm going to pull out a couple more singles from my giant Cliona Z palette and put them in this little 4-pan palette that I have from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I would like to pull out Arcana from Cliona. It's a duochrome. It's light purple with a blue shift to it. It's really pretty. I'd also like to pull out Goody 2 Shoes from ColourPop. This is a shimmery shade, but it's like a charcoal gray. I also want to pull out this purple here. This is Petal Pusher from Makeup Geek. I think it'll go really nicely with Arcana. And lastly, I want to pull out Phantom from Makeup Geek. This is a duochrome as well. It's a light white base with a purple shift. I think this would be really nice as a inner corner highlight for some purple looks that I'm going to be doing. I'm really trying to hit pan on that Ladyship shade from Queen of Hearts. Very specific color story this month, but I would just like to get some more use out of those shades. The next palette I want to pull out is this one here from Smashbox. It's the Vlada palette, and I actually used a couple of these shades on my friend for her wedding back in September. This palette is just so pretty. I love pinky eyeshadows like this. Maybe even just to get some more use out of it, I'll use this really light pink shade in the corner as like an inner corner shade or something. I don't know, but I just want to pull it out some more. I think it's so pretty. I think that's everything for this drawer. Let's go to the next drawer. This one is also all eyeshadows and eye products. I am going to pull out this Most Loved Matte palette because I'm working on one of the shades. French Vanilla is in my quintet. I'm not sure if you can see the dip in there. It's kind of hard to see with it being like a cream shade, but there's already such a huge dip in there, so I actually really feel confident that I'll be able to hit pan on it this month. So I'm going to pull this one out. I am almost done with my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, so I'm going to pull out this one here from Makeup Revolution. It's the Cut Crease Canvas. This is, I think, in the shade Illustrate, which is probably one of the lighter shades. And it's just kind of looks like a concealer. It's like on this little paddle. It's very pigmented. I think I've only used it once before, and I'd like to use this as an eyeshadow primer once the Urban Decay one is gone. I also want to pull out this eyebrow pencil. This is the LA Girl Shady Slim pencil in the shade Auburn, and it's just a mini pencil. It's got more of like a reddish undertone, which will match my hair better because I have some red in my hair now, so I'm going to pull this one out. And my mascara is almost done. It's starting to feel really dry, and I have used it for 3 or 4 months now. So I have these 2 mini mascaras here, one from Tarte and one from Urban Decay. I'm not sure which one I want to use. I think I'll use the Tarte one, the Lights Camera Lashes. I remember really liking it. And yeah, once I am done with the Hourglass one, I'll use this one. I think that's everything for eyes, so let's move on to the next drawer. The next drawer is blushes. So I played with the Wet n Wild Don't Flood Yourself, the Cover FX Duo, and the Flower blushes last month. This month I want to pull out some different ones. I definitely want to play with Glow All the Way from Hard Candy. I don't feel like I reach for this enough, and I love it. I think it's so pretty. It's one of the favorite colors that I own. I also want to pull out the Satin Touch blush from Essence. I don't feel like I've been using it a lot lately. I'm actually going to pull out a couple different blushes because I feel like I've been neglecting a lot of my colors. I want to wear Luminoso. This is such a pretty peachy blush color. And I'm also going to pull out this one here, this orangey one from Jordana. This is actually an eyeshadow in the shade Orange Shock. It is a dupe for NARS's Taj Mahal blush, and it's so pretty. I definitely want to pull this out this month as well. A lot of blushes I'm playing with. Next we have bronzers. I do kind of want to give this Wet n Wild one a try. This is in the shade Bronze Dynasty. I think it's from a collection, I don't know which one, because it does have like a dragon embossing on the product. And it's very similar to the Marc Jacobs shade, so I might like it because it is very similar to a bronzer that I already like. But I'm going to give it a try this month and see if it's something that I want to hold on to. And you know what? Another bronzer that I feel like I don't use enough is this one from Physicians Formula, the Butter Bronzer. I have used it quite a bit. A lot of the pattern has been worn down in the middle, but I just feel like lately I've been really neglecting it, so I'm going to pull this one out too. And that's everything for bronzers. Next we have highlighters. One product that I find myself missing is the Becca highlighter. This is the Hatisse one, and it's in Berlin Girl Glow, and it's so pretty. I think when I want something cool tone without being super pinky like the Wet n Wild Blossom Glow, I think I will pull this one out. And I think when I want something a little bit warmer that doesn't have like a strong pink or cool undertone, I'll pull out this one from Laura Geller. This is in the shade Peach Glow. It's a really pretty peachy shade. But like I said, I will mostly be focusing on the Wet n Wild highlighter whenever I can. And I almost forgot, but I do want to use this Wet n Wild one more. It's in the shade Halo Goodbye, and it is a liquid highlighter. Sometimes I mix this in with like my primer or something just to add a little something to my skin, especially in the wintertime when I am a little bit drier and I don't feel as radiant as normal. And I do plan on putting this in a future Partners in Cream project pan that I'm starting next year. I'm joining a group of a bunch of people, and I will link all the information below if you'd like to join too. But we're focusing on cream and liquid products in our collection, hopefully using them up or getting a ton of use out of them before they go bad. So I'd like to get some more use out of this and kind of just get in the habit of using it regularly so that I can make really good progress in that project pan. And that's everything for highlighters. For face products, I already have the foundation and concealer that I want to focus on this month. the Jouer foundation and the Cover FX concealer. And I do have setting sprays already that I want to work on. The Too Faced Hangover Spray, the Morphe Continuous Mist, and the Scandinavia Bridal Spray. So there's not a ton that I want to grab from this drawer this month. I do want to pull out the Too Faced Hangover. I've been using it quite a bit. If you can see, it's starting to get a little thin. So I would like to use some more of this if I can. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to finish it up by the end of the month because there really isn't like a ton left in there. I'm really trying to use the RCMA powder as much as I can, so I don't think I'm going to pull any other powders out. I might grab for the Velvetizer once or twice. This is a really great long-lasting powder, and so I might use it every once in a while, like if I'm going to a party or I want my makeup to last a long time, just because it is really great for that. I featured this in my long-lasting foundation tutorial that I put out a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to pull it out necessarily. I'll just know to grab for it if it's like something I need. I'll probably just grab for it like once or twice. So that's everything for face products. Now let's finish it off with lips. I want to pull out this Bullet lipstick from Urban Decay. It's in the shade Backtalk. It's a really pretty purpley pink shade and I really love it. I think it'll be really nice for this time of year. I know I'm going to want to wear a red lip sometime during the holiday season, so I'm going to pull out this duo. This is the NYX Lip Pencil. The name is rubbed off, so I can't tell you what the name of the shade is. And then I have Stila Fieri here. This is a really pretty true red. I think this is such a beautiful pairing, so I'm going to pull these out. And lastly, I want to pull out this mini Stila liquid lipstick in the shade Perla. This is such a pretty shade. I love it. It's nude and cool toned while still being very flattering on me. I don't know what it is about this shade, but I just love it so much. It's like my perfect cool tone nude. This one I have had for quite a while, and if you can see, it's like pretty dry. There's not a lot left. There's probably only like 1 or 2 more uses out of this. Luckily, I did purchase another mini of this shade, so I have another one coming in the mail, but I'm gonna try to get as much use out of this as I can, and once it's dried up, I will put it in my empties. And that's everything for lips, so let's look at my makeup drawer in its entirety. And that is everything in my makeup drawer this month. I did forget to mention that I am pulling in this Milani eyeliner. This is the Kohl Kajal in the shade Blackest Black, I believe. I used up my other Milani eyeliner, so I want to pull this one out. I really want to start buying the Marc Jacobs pencils, but I want to work through the eyeliners that I have in my collection first. I do have my setting sprays off camera because they don't fit in this drawer. I'm excited to have like different cheek stuff to play with. I feel like I just kind of got into a habit of using like the same blush all month, and I'm glad to have some other things to play with. I'm excited for the pinks and the cool tones in these 2 palettes here. I don't have a ton of new products to play with, products that I've never used before, other than this bronzer from Wet n Wild and that Makeup Revolution eyeshadow primer, and maybe that Tarte mascara since it's been a while since I've used it. But it's nice to go back to some old favorites and some things that I've been neglecting and haven't been using enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!